Did you just get engaged and don't know where to start with the whole wedding planning process? Well, here are 10 tips that I can give you to help you tackle the difficulties of the wedding planning process for your wedding day. What is up, all you engaged couples out there? So great to see all your beautiful faces. First of all, congratulations on your engagement, and secondly, hope you're having a great week so far. I'm Aaron Datu. I'm an event videographer, filmmaker, and storyteller based here in Wichita, Kansas. Today's tips are brought together with a local vendor in town, Wichita Coordination. Do you want a gorgeous, Pinterest-worthy wedding? Look no further. Their website is linked down below. Be sure to check them out. And with further ado, let's hop into it. Tip number 1 is to get a planner and a coordinator. The event planner is there to help you visualize your big day, and then the event coordinator is there to help manage all the individual components regarding your wedding day. Event planners have many years of experience, and they specialize in that field. So make sure you get a planner whose overall style and personality vibe well with yours. Their goal is to fulfill your vision of your wedding day. Keep in mind that the planner is there just for the big picture. So if you already know your vision and exactly what you want for your wedding day, but struggle with the whole logistics, be sure to get a wedding coordinator. As I said before, the wedding coordinator is there to manage the individual components of your wedding day. A few pros to having a wedding coordinator are they're usually a lot more affordable, and they are there to help you relax and just enjoy the wedding day. Wedding days are very stressful, so to at least have a coordinator there is very valuable in the whole aspect of your wedding day. But if you really can't afford to have a event planner or even a coordinator, be sure to reach out to someone that is very timely and organized, just to help with delegating that stress to someone else, or just helping with the overall stress levels of a wedding day. Tip number 2 would be to write down the vision of your wedding day. So the time of year, the style of your wedding, and just the overall vibe that you want to present for your wedding day. Make sure the first vendor that you hire out is your venue. You can't book anyone else out until you know the official date of your wedding. And the venue helps set the overall look of the day. Also, if you want to book a wedding day that's a significant date, like the first day you met, your first day, or the day that they said I love you, something of that matter, make sure that that wedding day is available for that venue. Be sure to take into consideration the time of year you're getting married. So if it's a fall wedding, make sure that you're planning accordingly, or if it's a summer wedding. Also, be sure to take into consideration the season that you will be getting married, and to have multiple options laid out just in case that a venue doesn't have your date available. After you have your venue picked out, you want to start making a mood board or a color board of your overall wedding day. So you could use Instagram or Pinterest to take screenshots of decor, colors, dresses, and all sorts of stuff, just so you know what overall vibe you want. And you want to determine what type of wedding you will be having in terms of style of the wedding. Is it going to be something traditional or cultural, such as a tea ceremony or a church wedding, or something more non-traditional like a garden wedding or just an elopement? The last thing you want to do on writing down your vision is to go over the overall vibe of the wedding day. So are you a couple that has 2 big families and you're very family oriented, and you want to have a fun, energetic, just family fun time, and it's for the family and getting together and catching up after all those years? Or do you want a very slow and intentional and very intimate with how you want your vibe to go? And this will also play a big role by creating a rough guest list of who you want there. So you'll be surprised about how many or how little you actually want on your wedding day. Tip number 3 would be to create a priority list of all of the vendors that you want, just to make sure that these are all vendors that you see as a necessity, not anyone else, not your your parents or your cousin or whatnot, what you as a couple see as important for your wedding day. And I'm not talking in terms of just what they deliver or what their job is, but with whatever value they also bring to the table beyond what they deliver. Also, these vendors will introduce you to many things that you never even thought of or never even considered. But keep in mind, spend the money on what you think is important or what you believe to be important. And just because you saw a trend or a friend that paid for something on their wedding day doesn't mean that you have to also. Be disciplined enough on saying no to certain things that you don't think will be that important on your wedding day. Tip number 4 would be to develop a rough timeline. And this doesn't have to be minute by minute of your wedding day. This is very early stages of your timeline. And you will notice when you are going and making your timeline, you will have many iterations and many changes that will happen, but just have a rough idea and overall picture of what you want your wedding day to look like. So start by figuring out when you want your ceremony to start and end and your reception to start and end. Then ask your venue what time you're able to get in and what time you have to get out. These two things, the ceremony and the reception times, are the two major milestones in your wedding day timeline. So if you have these nailed down early, it just helps make it a lot easier for vendors and when to tell them to have deliveries or such to happen. Tip number 5 would be to go vendor shopping. And there's 3 things that you always want to look for in your vendors. It's their style, their personality, and their pricing. The more that you get to know the vendors that you will be working with on your wedding day, the better your wedding day will be. Also, wedding expos are a great opportunity to see all the vendors and all the work that they have to offer all in one day. Tip number 6 would be to opt for face-to-face meetings or online meetings via Skype, FaceTime, Google chat rooms, Zoom. The reason I say that is because it's nice to put a face to the emails or the texts that you're getting constantly from your vendors. You know, it's nice to just have that nice connection one-on-one, face-to-face. A lot of people don't do it, but if you could find vendors that always opt to do that or you want to opt to do that, it's a win-win for both sides. Having this working relationship will help build trust with your vendors and will also help relieve some stress and anxiety that might creep up with you about smaller details. Tip number 7 would be to keep your vendors in the loop. We love it when there's constant communication, and I'm not talking about a text every day or whatnot. We just want to be updated with any new information that might be different on your timeline or something changed on the dynamic of your ceremony, anything like that. Anyone that you think that information would be beneficial to, we love that communication and being kept in the loop. Also, if you have a question about something, don't be afraid to ask. Not all the vendors will have planning advice, but they could potentially save you money or just provide insight on something that will help make your wedding day flow better. Tip number 8 would be to have clear expectations. So you want to relay back to any vendor that you have a meeting with on what you expect to have from them. The last thing that we as vendors want is to have a miscommunication of expectations. So if there's any uncertainties you may have, make sure you reach out to those vendors weeks before and go over a little rundown of the details that they're involved with just to make sure that their plans match yours. Tip number 9 would be to have a checklist. So if you don't already have a notebook, a whiteboard, or sticky notes to write down these ideas or reminders, be sure to have those already, because you never know when you'll have an unexpected idea or something just pops up out of nowhere and you really want to remind yourself of it later down the road. Writing down your ideas or keeping a list will help you sleep better and keeps those anxious thoughts out of your head. And pro tip, if you want to set mini goals for the week, you could use sticky notes and stick those to the fridge or the main door just to be constantly reminded of what you need to get done for that week. Tip number 10 is probably the easiest tip to follow, but a lot of couples don't take it. It's to take breaks. Wedding planning can be very stressful, and sometimes you just need to take a little date night or whatever just to reset and just not be super stressed out by the whole wedding planning phase of your wedding day. Well, that's all I got for today's video. Thanks for tuning in. Special thanks to the team at Wichita Coordination for teaming up with me and creating these tips for you engaged couples out there. Like the video if you liked it, share it if you're into that, and if you know of any couples out there that just got engaged or are thinking about getting married that might benefit from these tips in planning their wedding day, be sure to share it with them. Consider subscribing if you're not already, and hit that bell notification for any new content I may have in the future. And as always, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Follow me on all them social medias at Aaron Datu Films, and I'll see you in the next one.